All right, in this episode, number 7, I want to go over what I found about there's going to be 2 different kinds of Starlink, one for residential and one for business. I haven't heard or seen too many people talking about the business Starlink system. There is a difference. And also showing why I do believe all these people that's got Starlink's been showing speeds over 150, 200, 250, some of them 300. I do believe won't be long before them days will be over. And I say that because of the information I see on Starlink's website. So let's go ahead and get these photos that I have and see what you think about people getting over 150. You think it's going to continue, or do you think it's going to be bottlenecked to one, or cut off at 150? Not throttled, but maximum 150 for residential. Let me know what you think that's going to happen in the comments below this video. But let's go ahead and get to these clips and let me explain why I think it's going to change. And I can only go by what I see on their website. Here is Starlink Business. The dish is a little bit bigger. It's supposed to be with more than double the antenna compatibility. Compatibility is Starlink Business delivers faster internet speeds with higher throughput. And that's when I placed the order for my replacement refurbished one. It was exciting to have that saying it's being prepared, and then the very next day it says it's shipped and had a tracking number. That was a nice day. And this here says with double the antenna's area, Starlink Business delivers high improved performance in cases of minor obstructions and greater throughput. Starlink Business also provides increased snow melt, which bigger surface, you got more heaters, compatibilities, as well as ability to deliver faster speeds in high temperature environments. So sounds like it's going to be all around bigger physically and faster. And so let's move on to the next one. This one here is what Starlink Business delivers the same low latency with higher throughput for users of like 10 to 20 users in an office, storefront, and residential locations across the globe. Now, with that said, seems like they're not going to just let businesses actually be able to order this business system just because they said residential locations. So now, modern days, you may run the business out of your home. So possibly they will let you order this one if you want it. Of course, yes, it costs more. But this is the point that I was mentioning, that I do believe the ones that's been getting the system, the residential system, that's been getting over 150 megabits per second, 200, 250, 300, 325, I've seen some, says Starlink Business users can expect download speeds between 150 and 500 megabits per second, and latency as low as 20 milliseconds in most locations. Now, the reason why I say I do believe residential is going to be topped off somewhere around somewhere between 150 and 200 is because why would they have this system, the business system, and letting people have 150 and up at a certain price, say $50 a month, which that's not what it is. I'm just using this scenario. Say you pay $50 for a residential and you get in 150, 200, 250. And say the business cost $150 a month and you're going to get the same speeds. Yeah, you're going to get probably, higher speeds. But there's got to be some cutoff or limitation of the residential dish. Because if not too many people are going to buy the business because they're going to get within some of the range that the business dish is actually supposed to hand out. Because if you can get 200, 250, 275 and you run a business, you probably won't need to buy this business Starlink system because you're getting some of the low end of the business speeds. It has its pros and cons, like it's got more compatibility of melting ice and stuff. So if you're in some climate that has a lot of that issue, then it might benefit to have the ability to heat up a little bit more and be able to get rid of the ice and whatnot to get better speeds. With Starlink, there are no contracts, no data caps. Data and speed is two different things. You can have all the speed, but how much data is going to go through that speed? There's no data caps, means you can run something 24/7 and there's no amount of data that it's going to stop you at. So I don't know if they're going to limit the residential to somewhere between 150 and 200, or is it that the system is limited to a certain speed and it just some of these people that's just in the right spot at the right angle where the satellites are and they get in 200 and 250 and they just are the lucky ones that's going to get that more perfect line of sight to get them speeds. But maybe they think in most residential is going to get somewhere, I heard them say somewhere between 50 and 150 megabits per second. Maybe the system is capable of doing more than 150 if you're in the right direction, higher environment, or whatever it may be. But overall, from the best to the worst, the average is between 50 and 150. So they may not actually stop the speeds. They just may let the location that you have your residential dish in run its course of being the maximum it can do in that particular area. That might be what they're going to do. They're not going to guarantee anything over 150. Because I've seen where it said on their site that you should expect between 50 and 150. Not saying that you won't get over 150. Won't say you get less than 50, but they said you should expect it between them two numbers. So they might just limit the system of maximum and minimum whatever and try to make everybody stay between 50 and 150. If you get over 150, you just one of them lucky ones. But I know it's not going to go much over 150 for too many people, because then what would be the purpose of them coming out with a business system that does 150 to 500? Because you think about it, if you getting over 150, say you getting 200, 225, and you get a business and it's supposed to be better, and if you're just in that right location, then you're probably going to get closer to 500 with the business one. But do you want to pay the price for it? And I will have that price before this video is over. It's significantly more than the residential one. And this just summary of talking about if you're in a heavy snow, rain, lightning, and all that, just breaks it down, temperatures of that it should be expected to be working in. somewhere between negative 22 to plus 122 degrees Fahrenheit. And it talks about the snow and then the rain and the lighting. And you can pause it here if you want to read all this. I'll zoom it in just a little bit more if you want to read all this. You can pause it right there and actually read all that if you like. But I'm going to go on to the next one. This is the price for the business. Bigger dish comes with a bigger price tag. Deposit. Now, the residential, I had to put $99 down because it wasn't in my area yet, and it took a year and 2 or 3 months for me to get it. The hardware is $2,500. At the time I ordered it, I do believe it was $499, and then I think it went up to $599. So basically $500. The deposit on the business buys the whole system of the residential. So the $500 you put down on this would buy you the whole system of the residential. With the first price they came out, now it's $599. But still, that's the comparison. The down payment on one would actually buy you the whole system of the other one. Hardware is $2,500. Service is $500 a month compared to when I started $99 a month. Now it's $110 a month. Then it can be $135 a month because they charge you $25 if you want to take it on the road and be mobile, which is not a bad deal because people in RVs or people just wants to go camping, and if they got a way to, like even in middle of the woods, and if they got a place where it's opening and they got a car battery or whatever to give them enough power with the inverter, convert it from 12 volts to 115 and 100 some watts with a residential, they'd be able to have internet out in the middle of nowhere. And they can charge the batteries if they set it up in their vehicle as they ride down the road, maybe with a camper with solar panels on top, and they can charge the batteries then. I mean, it's so many different ways. But you see the difference. And that's why I think they're going to limit, or the system, the way they build it is going to limit the maximum speed for residential. Because if you're going to let the residential get up too much up into the speeds that the business system actually will give out, what's the purpose of making the business system, and what would be the purpose of actually buying the business system if you can get part of the high speeds that the business would give out at a lower price, significant lower price? Who wants to pay $500 a month when you can pay $110, and if you're in the right location and still get over $150? That's my guess. I mean, as from a business point, why would, I sell a car that can drive like a four-wheel drive, but try to sell four-wheel drive trucks, but the cars can do almost what the trucks do. So, but the good part is it gives more variety of choice of your location where you're at, what fits best. If you're in a great location, it might be worth getting the business to pay that extra, but you're going to have that high extra speed. If you can afford it, then by all means get it. But that's the difference. But we'll see how it plays out. If people start making videos and saying, well, I used to have 250, 225 speeds, and now it's down below 200, and I can't get it over 200 anymore, and the dish is still in the same location it's been for a year and a half, and the speeds are dropped. These updates might be setting the firmware so it would be limiting the speeds that it can get as the business dish actually gets deployed out. And this is talking about, can I add additional services locations to my account? Yes, you can have up to 3 locations. You can have 3 systems. But the thing is, why have 3 locations when now you can pay $25 and be able to be mobile? Now, they don't guarantee you're going to get the same speeds as your regular address. They just saying you will have internet as long as you're in the locations that they provide service. So these write-ups they have on their sites, pretty much they do something that this is almost like obsolete this completely, because you can go mobile now, unless you have like rental properties, or you want to buy a system for your parents or your brothers and sister or whatever, and they're in different location. They're making it very choosable of different scenarios that you may have. They got more choices that you can choose to fit your setup that you're going to have. Instead of like, you residential, you get this, business, you get this, and that's it. No, they leaving it open and giving features that gives you more options. And this here says, when will my Starlink business order be fulfilled? And as you can see, it says, we expect to begin fulfilling Starlink business orders mid 2022. So you see, when I made this video, it's not after they start deploying, it's actually before. So this is something new, the business, and that's probably why I haven't seen many people talk about it on YouTube, because it hadn't came out yet for them to put their hands on it. But I haven't seen anybody talk about the business Starlink system yet. When I get finished with this video making it, I'm going to go look again, because it's been about 2 or 3 weeks since I looked, and see if I can find anybody talking about it. But about 3 weeks ago, it didn't come up with any when I put Starlink business at all. Don't matter which way I worded it, nothing came up. It all came up with the residential system. But I'm going to look it up again and see if I can come up with any. This is the 2 Starlink systems. This one here is the business. As you can see, it's wider than the residential. Still pretty much looks like the same setup. It's just the surface is wider. This is the specs of each one. I'm going to scroll down. That way you can pause it at any time and see this part of the screen. You can see the difference, like the residential is 22 by 20 surface size, and this one's, let's see which one is 22. That's the business. Let's see. Yeah, the business is the one on the left, I do believe. Yeah, this is the business one. It's 22 by 20. Residential is 19 by 12. That one weighs 16 pounds, the business one. The mask is about the same, so it looks like the footing is the same. Temperature operating. It looks like all the specs of the Wi-Fi is all about the same. And you can see the business with the residential over here pulls 2.5 amps max, and the business pulls 6.3. Both of them looks like they come with a 75 standard cord. Power cord length The power cord is 6 foot. So it looks like they got a few other things for third-party routers. Looks like they're going to have it set up so you can actually do the business of tying in hardwire. And it looks like it weighs about 10 pounds more. And I do believe that would be, yep, that's the last clip there. So that's why I do believe that the residential people that's been getting 200 or 300 possibly not going to get them speeds, or they're going to keep getting them speed because they are just in the right location, line of sight, and they might be on higher elevation land in the mountains. You know, so many different scenarios that would make a difference of them getting that speed. They might continue to get 250 and 300 because they're just in that particular, almost a perfect location. But they can at any time do a software update, just like they did my new system, and made it increase because the updates, they can actually put it in there and do an update and make it decrease or cap it off to, or limit it, not cap, but limit it to certain speeds. They might just limit it to, say, 200. If you're in a good location, you'll get to 200. But we're only going to guarantee 150, but you might get over 150 in the right location. But overall, you're going to get somewhere between 50 and 150 for residential. If they can keep that promise, 50 to 150, don't matter where you're at, and you got the residential, yeah, that'll work. Because 50 down, people really don't realize how much speed that really is, what you can actually stream live, and how many multiple devices you can use at one time with that 50 megs per second or 50 megabits per second download. I mean, that's enough for 3 or 4 TVs and laptop and cell phones at the same time. Now, where problems may come in play is people out in the middle of nowhere that got a game console now because they got internet. The upload may not be enough because they don't say anything what they're going to guarantee about the upload. They are only referring to the download, as you saw there, 150 to 500 megabits per second download. Upload, I haven't seen any documentation of saying what they should expect on that. Just like any other internet provider that I've seen, Spectrum, T-Mobile, AT&T, CenturyLink, when they advertise, they tell and say the download speeds. They don't say anything about the upload. You actually have to call them and inquire what would be the upload speed expected on this service. If I get this package, what should I expect for the upload speeds to be? Some of them will say, well, it'll upload. They won't give you a number. Some of them say, well, if you got this package, you getting 200 megabits per second download. We got it set at 20 megabits per second upload is what we got it set at. Some of them will tell you that. Some of them will say, well, it will upload. That's all they tell you. But from what I've seen and tested personally myself with 2 systems now, the uploads, if you get it at the right angle and don't have anything in the way, in my area, I'm getting 10 megabits per second upload up to 25 megabits per second upload. Somewhere between there. So if I can get 10 meg, as long as nobody else is on it, but say 7 to 10 start, all the way up to 25, depends on when I'm on it and what other things I have, and my son and all is on watching TV. He loves to be on his tablet, his phone, streaming live on his PlayStation and on his computer all at the same time. I'm just glad I got something now that be able to handle that. But even with all that going, when he's got his one or two of his neighbors over, when they're all going in there, I'm still getting somewhere around 8 to 10 megabits per second upload, which is more than enough to upload videos. Now, if I was uploading 4K 360 videos, yeah, I'll need somewhere around 20 to make it feasible time-wise of doing so. But if I need that, all I got to do is go to my RV, which I provide internet for that RV park. Yeah, I can upload it in on my laptop. But I don't see doing too many videos in that high quality. 720, 1080 is more than enough. And I can upload a video in 15 minutes or less. Depends on how long it is. Like this video here is going to be, looks like, somewhere between 25 and 30 minutes. Because I don't have no more clips, and this is it. So if I can upload any of my videos in 15 minutes. Now, when I say that, I put the video, bring up YouTube over here on this screen, and tell it to upload, put all of my information in, the title, the description, and blah, 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 and hit that last one and say schedule. And it's uploading, and I'm watching videos on this screen, maybe watching the weather on this screen, if the radar, if a storm's coming or whatever. So I'm doing all that, and my son is on his game console and everything at the same time, and I'm still uploading videos within 15 minutes each. I can't argue with that. It's not like I have to upload and leave the computer alone. I can't do nothing else. I can do that and still got 3 other screens to do whatever I want, or sit here and record and upload another one. So it's working. But the updates, them 2 updates, especially the second one, made a big difference. And getting it 20 feet up in the air made a world of difference. Now I'm just going to sit back and wait and see if that red in the dome that I showed you, see if it starts to kind of fade away and starts turning black, and this dish will not use that area anymore to tie into the dish. When it gets to that point, it says, okay, I need to connect up to this one. And when this one actually gets over here, it says I need to connect up this one before that one actually gets. So instead of it picking up and using satellites in this area, it's going to use it in this area because all this has been blacked out, so it's only going to use this area. So that means interruptions should be decreased to the point, hopefully, says you're in a perfect location, expect no interruptions. Of course, now you're going to, because network issues. It's still going to disconnect. But only time will tell, and I will make a video if I see a significant difference in the dome, in the red, that if it starts disappearing. But this is number 7, and then I'm going to make number 8, and just keep going until I run out of things to say about it, because if it gets to the point where all is blacked out, there's nothing really left to do unless they do a major update or something that I hear about. Then I'll make another video. But until then, thanks for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying these videos. If you're thinking about getting actually Starlink yourself, I know it is expensive. You have to pay and buy the equipment up front. But if you don't have internet and it's in your area, it just might be worth the investment of getting the system. Because you got to consider, after you get it, you're not stuck in that one location. Because if you move, you can put in a new address and relocate, or you can pay the $25 a month and be mobile. So they're making it more user friendly and giving everybody more choices. Not like I said earlier, buy residential, you're here. Buy business, you're here. Now you can buy the residential and change your address or be mobile. Like, oh, we're going to go out of town all next month to a friend of mine 2 states up. As long as they got service, pay the $25 for that month. Then you can not pay it next month and come home. It's not something you got to pay and keep paying. At least that's what I've read on their site. And you cannot pause your service. You can't say, well, I don't need it for the next 2 months. Can you pause the service? Nope. Because if you do turn it off, then you get back on the waiting list. Now, the mobile, from what I had read on their site, you can turn it on and off when you need it, which is nice. So if you go travel, turn it on, come back home, turn it off. More options. I like it. But until the next video, please consider and don't forget to